Hi everyone, Lensman Oz here. Welcome back to my Modular Mayhem Let's Play series. Today I wanted to look at getting started in another mod by the name of Magneticraft. I wanted to start some basic power generation and look towards the ore processing of Magneticraft. Now, I don't know if I've got enough resources yet. I've done a bit more mining, and I've got my area miner enchant finally on my pickaxe, and I've been doing passes down at Y level 10 sort of thing to try and get the resources I require going and up here. Now, I've done a little bit of, I guess you'd call it automation here at the moment to try and get rid of the backlog of dusts and stuff that I had. I pretty much just put a hopper in and move the chest. So all those dusts are now gone. We've just got a little bit of iron left, and got a bit going in here, and I've been putting it over in the chest, in the drawers over here. Farms are going along nicely. Seem to be building up not heaps, but you know, we're getting there. A fair bit of wood, some apples and stuff. So there'll be other uses for saplings and things later, I'm sure. Now, this is something I've been doing in between. I decided that this little workshop here, and yes, I know I still haven't finished the roof on it, but this little workshop here isn't going to be big enough. So I started making a nice big area over here. Same sort of style, obviously. I'm thinking I'm going to be putting some windows in this one. I'm not sure whether it'll be all the way around like it currently is, but it's a work in progress, and obviously I've got to do the floor yet too. But I spent a fair chunk of time. Remember, this was all the big hill here, digging it out, and I never got area miner on my shovel, so honestly it's taken a while. But hopefully this will give us enough space to set up at least the Magneticraft stuff. I plan to have pretty much all the machines in here. I think I might be able to get them down one side here. I haven't double checked yet, but you know, worst case, it'll be in this room, and I'll make a roof on it once I know how tall the machines go, because I know there is one of the machines which is generally oil processing. So I don't know whether I'll get into that in this pack, because I'm not sure which oil gen is enabled. But it's a really tall multi-block, and not sure whether that roof's going to cut it yet. But to get started, Magneticraft has its own power sort of system. It's a combination of electricity similar to blue power, if you've played with blue power before, but it also produces heat and uses heat as an energy. And the first block I'm going to make, which is the basic generator, also produces steam. Now, I always lose it in here. It doesn't matter how many times I click on it and open it up in this list. I just can't find it every time. So this is it here. The first bits and pieces you're going to need is the machine housings for Magneticraft, which are carbide ingots, around a piece of stone, and some iron as well. And you remember the carbide is the tungsten surrounded by coal. So I'm going to need a lot more coal yet. Something I'm probably hurting on a little bit at the moment. So I need 2 of these for what I want to do. One can go in here for the infinite water unit, which is what I showed you in the farm. I think it was the last episode. So that's just 4 buckets, 4 glass. It's one of these infinite water units. The other thing I need to make is this heat cable, which is a block of salt. So that's just 9 salt, surrounded by bricks. It's just 8. And this is the basic generator here. So 4 copper, this alternator. Alternator's made with 2 copper, these copper coils, which are copper round iron bars. And then these magnets, lapis or blue dye. It's a bit strange, but lapis, redstone, and iron. And that gets you the alternator. And then the small battery is sulfur, and copper and iron. So it's all fairly simple and straightforward. What I thought we might do is take this over. And as I said, I'm not exactly sure where I want to set everything up yet, but I'm just going to plonk this down here for now. And if you open it up, it's a bit of a, I don't know, a full interface, I guess. But first thing we need to know is we need to get some infinite water into this thing. So I'm just going to drop it on the back for now. See the little tank inside fills up. And this just burns material, so I believe it's any furnace material, so let's just go grab some of this wood just for the demonstrate. Grab a stack. And I might automate or start turning some of that into charcoal to make this go a bit longer, but you just see in there it starts heating up, and obviously once it hits 100 degrees, I think it will be, it should generate steam. That's where it started making power. So you can see it's making steam here. Steam's being turned into voltage, and it won't start storing energy until it gets to a certain point. Now I'm not sure what that point is with this yet. I've only played with Magneticraft a little. You see it's burning through that quite quickly, but once we get, I don't know, charcoal or even coal, blocks of coal coke might work. What we should see is once this reaches a certain point, there we go, we're starting to generate power. 184 volts. It's filling up its internal buffer of power. Once this fills, we'll start getting steam as a byproduct as well. So it fills up. I think it's going to fill all the way. Alright, so that's now full. We should start getting steam. Maybe this has to fill too. See the voltage is going up. So yeah, it really is a combination block here. It does generate all the different types of energy from Magneticraft, and this heat can actually be transferred to other machines. Okay, so now we've got an excess of steam because the battery's full, and it's stopped burning because everything's full, and then we've got a little bit of steam left over. So we need to obviously use the power and use the steam, and this is part of the process. So the first use that I was going to do would be to make the crusher. Now, crusher is a multi-block. You can see here, any of these items that say control are a multi-block. I'm not 100% sure how big it is, so it's going to be a start. We'll see how we go. So you saw there I'm going to need a couple of pistons. Let's just grab those 2 pistons for the start. I need to duck outside and grab some wood. I've got 1 piston in here. Oh, hang on. Some in here. Right. So first up, let's just make the other piston we require. That's the 2 pistons. I need one of these multi-block chassis, another one of those small batteries, a couple of bits of iron, and 2 of these electric motors. So they are just copper coils, so I need a couple more of them. Copper and iron. So let's grab, I've got 2 in here, some iron bars. I am a little short of iron, but hopefully we can get this going. I think that's what I had to do, isn't it? Copper and then some iron in the middle. I need 2 of them. Like so. Two of the motors. What else? Let's fix this up. So another one of those small batteries, so some copper and some sulfur. There's sulfur over here. Yep. Battery? Nope, that's not right. Okay, this goes down the bottom. One of these multi-block chassis, which is just one of those machine housings from earlier with some iron around it, gets you 9. And what else was the last thing? Oh, 2 iron. And that gets the crusher control. Then I end up with an iron nugget. I'm confused. Oh, I must have hit that there. Going on. Right. More junk than I needed. So we might just quickly sleep. And then I'll try and set up this crusher. Now, the way that Magneticraft does have effectively or tripling, I think it ends up being, but there's a chance at every stage to get extras. Now that's crusher control. And one thing you'll learn pretty quick with these multi-blocks is that once you can't just place the start block on the ground, because generally 9 times out of 10 there's a row below them of blocks. So I've got to remember, I'm just going to start this in the center here. We'll see how big it is. So you right click on it. It shows you the size and where each item needs to go. We can sort of have a quick count in here. What do we need? 3, 8. There's 19 of these blocks on the bottom. Wow. So you can see here I'm going to need a couple of the, that's a power input, it's an item input. I think there's 1 power, 2 item, and a ton of these multi-block chassis. So let's go and make the 2 item inputs and the power input, and possibly make a few more of these chassis things. So we want to multi-block. We need 2 of these, so that's just 2 of the multi-block chassis and two chests. That's quite easy. That wood we had before. Oops. 2 chests. Wait. And then 2 of them. And then one of these low voltage ones, I think it is. So for that we need either wool, rubber sheets. I wonder whether I might add. Oh no, that's only done with plastic, so we don't have any rubber trees or MFR or anything like that in this pack. It's got to be done with as a byproduct of oil, so we'll see if I've got some wool floating around. May have to go on a venture because I did use a bunch of my wool to make elevators. I may need to go and find a sheep. Let's check if I've got any wool left over. There we go. I'll just take that with me. So yeah, what I did with all the wool is I put an elevator here. because I got tired of going up and down the ladder. This leads all the way down to where I spawn slimes, apparently. All different colour slimes. And they just give you lots of dye. So this is where I've been mining. You can see there's still heaps of resources in the walls and stuff, but pretty much that's the supercharged pick. And it, you know, does the, get out of my way sign, does the 3x3. So I've just been travelling down and doing the mining style I learnt from a streamer by the name of Wild. Yeah, minimises the amount of torches and still gets you a good spread. So that's where I've been mining. That's where I've been getting all my resources. I did start this way. This way was actually done with the single block with just the pick. Very time consuming, and that, you can see here, these are the original paths that I was running to go mining, just strip mining. So did use a lot of wool. There's four elevators there and 8 wool per elevator. If you haven't seen the elevators before, it's an open blocks block, ender pearl surrounded by 8 wool, and it gives you the ability to place them every 20 blocks maximum. And then you just shift down to go down and jump to come up. Very, very easy. Right, what were we making? We were making, let's get Magneticraft back up. We were making some low voltage cable, I believe. Stuff here. Copper and some wool. Bit of copper. Wool gets us these cables. And that gets us the multi-block energy in and out. Now I don't. Wow. And what else do I need? I need some more carbide. Not sure I've got enough here. We'll have a look. I want to make the multi-block chassis. Means I'm going to need some of this. No, need stone. There we go. How many of these can I make? 2. Oh. That'll give us some. It's not enough, but I'll probably. Oh, I might have enough. Let's grab another bit of cardboard. Those wisp things are a little annoying, so sorry if that's too loud for you guys. Alright, so we'll see how we go with this amount. Hopefully we'll get the thing built. I'm going to move it over there. We'll work out how big it is. So what do we got? It's 4 deep. I want to run cables on the back, so we put it about, how wide is it? 1 that way and then 5. So it's 5 by 4. If I put that block 1, 2, 3, 4, put him here. Get this back. Is there another one around? Right. Enough mucking around. Pressure control. So we want the in out there, and power above that one. We'll put them in, power there, and in out here and here. And then pretty much the rest, I think, these blocks. I'm not going to have enough, I don't think, by a long shot. I have to go make some more carbide. short by? Heaps. 9, 12, 15, 18, 17 short. Let's see if I've got some coal lying around. I need... Oh, I got some coal. So that, lots of that. So tungsten. And I just used my iron. Oh, them's the brakes. I don't think I've got any more either, so I might just have to do a quick cut and grab some more iron. I think I'm completely out. Derp. Alright, let's dump some stuff off. I'll do a cut here, and I'll be back in just one tick. And I'm back. And I went and got a bunch of iron. And a few other bits and pieces. And that should give us some more of these. I'm going to need heaps of them anyway, because as I said, most of the machines are multi-blocks. So I'm going to need them in the future. So let's just jump up here. Let's see, I need to put one there, and then, oops. So you can see that the in and out blocks have inventory. Now, see down in the chat message down there, you can see that it'll give you tips as to why your machine's not forming. You can see the error in 765 170 with the block multi-block chassis. So you go to 765, which is this block here, 170, and you put that block, that message will now change. You see before it was 65, now it's 66. So it's a good little tip that if for some reason your multi-block isn't forming, right click on there and it'll tell you what you've done wrong. You know, you might have put one of these in the wrong spot or something, but it'll tell you. So once it's formed, right click on it, and that gets us our machine. So it's a fairly large machine, and this is just step one in the process. And I will do the full process, which is crusher, and then sifter, and then back through the sifter again. So I may end up building 2 sifters around the room here. So one here and one here maybe. And then, not sifter, sorry. Let's have a look here. So crusher, which gives you the rubble. Grinder, so 2 grinders. Crusher, grinder, grinder, and then that's another grinder one. And then sifter. So we'll do 2 grinders and a sifter, and that will give us all the bonus ability of each level. Yeah, to maximize our ores. Magneticraft also has a quarry, which or a miner. I'm not real sure how whether I'm gonna use it or not. What we need to do now is go make a bunch of this cable. We'll just run some cable over to this little block here, and we'll see if we can power it up before the end of little lag. Power it up before the end of the episode. Let's see what we've got. Glad I had all that extra wool. I might have to produce a sheep farm, I think. Might be next on the agenda. Hopefully I'll have enough. I don't think I'm going to. Yeah, because it's a different type of power, you can't use RF directly. There is a block that enables... Yeah, I'm a couple short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need one more piece of wool. Let's have a look on the map there. Let's see if there's a sheep around. Most of my sheep are over the hill over here. Creeper up there. Oh boy. Well, this was unintended. All this for one bit of sheep, one bit of wool. So while I was out and about, I'm going to show you here. If you read through the comments of the videos, I did mention about a while ago looking for an underwater Magneticraft thing, and you can see I've gone a long way around the world trying to find one, and I gave up. Came back. I still haven't found one yet, but I did find another one of those buried hollow things over here, and I've got a bunch more of the information fragments that have unlocked a heap more stuff, but I'm not really ready to do the Magneticraft stuff yet. Trying to get myself set up more and a little bit more sufficient. Nice. So before I get into that, and I need to work out where I'm going to put it. As I've said before, it's a large multi-block, and I'm thinking this area over here maybe. I'm starting to spread out a long way, but I don't really want everything crammed together, because then we'll get more lag than is required. And none of this is chunk loaded. Just haven't got around to it yet, pretty much. So nothing works while I'm away, but one more for good luck. Right. I'm considering making all the floors concrete. It's so much easier to get around on the concrete. Really? Right, we're on record. So if I hook this up, see it's balancing itself out. It's the way the power works, is it'll balance itself out between the machines. So this is now generating again. You can see we've got no steam because it's used it up in its process, and there's no voltage there at all. So we're going to need to I'm not sure if this will burn for longer or not. That's fairly quick. Maybe 5 seconds each. What does this burn for? Yeah, heaps longer. So let's just throw that in there for now. And this, as I said earlier, voltage needs to come up to a certain point before it'll work. Grab this bit of copper for the moment. I've already thrown all my ores through that other system, just as a demonstration. We'll put some items in here and see what we get out. Still hasn't stabilized. I don't think this will be able to work yet. Oh no, here we go. We're starting to get power now. So it's 164 volts. It starts to get power. You can see it's pushing all its stored power into this machine. Once this is full, then I guess this one will fill back up as well. So there is a multi-block generator which is called the Stirling generator, and I was going to start with that one, and I realised that it's probably a little bit too much to go from the start with, but I will build this one. But I'm also thinking of other ways of generating power. There's a few different ways. We've got a steam engine, which you use, obviously the steam from the machines to generate power. There's also a big multi-block steam turbine which generates bucket loads of power but requires a lot of steam. So until we can get into the point where we've got a lot of steam production, it's not really useful. There is a way of converting RF power over to this system. There is a block. I'm not sure exactly where it is. There is a block. This one here, RF alternator. And you pretty much RF in one side and it generates Magneticraft power the other side. So that may be an option later, depending on how we go with power generation. We may be able to just tee over here and put an alternator in. I don't think it's a great combination. I'm sure we can do a better job than that, but for the moment, right, this should be powered up. So we've got power, some voltage. This is doing alright. So let's put this copper ore in here. You can see it was flickered up in there. It's done its job nice and quick. We've got 2 copper chunks. Straightforward, all doubling. You can just use this one and then a smelter. That, you know, you'll get your standard ore doubling with a, I think it's about a 5% chance. I think if you looked. What did we do? We did copper. So copper gets you a guaranteed copper chunk, 5% chance for copper dust, and 5% chance of pulverized gold. So that's all right. I think, you know, it's fairly standard ore doubling. I was just saying it's only getting 1. Oh yeah, we only got 1, didn't we? So I'm wondering if the numbers have been played with in regards to doubling, because should have got a smaller than that, I thought. Anyway, it's not a big issue. We can now run it through a grinder and get a chance there and another chance again down here. I thought it was doubling, but maybe not. Maybe the configs have been played with. I'll have to look into that. But that's my plan. I was going to set up the full room in Magneticraft. So hopefully you enjoyed this start to it. I will continue getting ready to build the next couple of machines, and hopefully we've got the power generation, I guess, to run the machines. I may need to go to the Stirling generator, which is a bigger block, so I might have shot myself in the foot here. I might fit in there. I think it's a 3x5, so it might fit in there quite nicely. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to give it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. You'll get all your notifications, and I guess it makes me feel better. Yeah, any comments, please, by all means. I say it every episode, but leave them and let me know what you thought. Alright, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. See you later.